Tikulandireni chigawo chino chamasana pompano pakalima wa parliament pamene tikupitiriza kupatsirani tsatanetsatane wa zokambirana za aphungu a nyumba ya malamulo. Malinga ndi achiwiri kwa otsogolera aphungu mnyumbayi olemekezeka akhumbize kandodo MP, chigawo chamasanachi aphungu akambirana mabhilu osiyanasiyana kuyambira bill number 20 ya 2025 imeneyi ndiyokhudza ntchito zokopa alendo. Zokambiranazi zipitirira posachedwapa. Well, if you're just tuning in, we are back with the live coverage of the first meeting of Parliament in the 51st session right here on Parliament Television. Just before the lunch break, the Deputy Leader of the House, Honorable Kombize Kandodo Chiponda, MP, provided guidance that members will this afternoon tackle bills, starting with Bill number 20 of 2025, that's tourism industry. We now cross over to the chamber for the afternoon deliberations. My name is Rachel Gonani. Stay tuned.
Welcome back from the lunch break, honour members, and as was guided by government side, this bit in the afternoon will tackle bills. Clerk.
Item 3, Government Business, Bills, First Reading, Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Industry.
Honourable Minister. I see first reading when? I'm being guided that you need to waive. Move a motion for waiving.
First Deputy Speaker, first reading today and now, but I beg to move that this bill, we waive the relevant standing orders, precisely 125B, because it has not reached the 28 days, but it has exceeded the 7 days notice, so I want to move. The reason is its emergency and also its significance. We cannot wait for the next sitting. Thank you.
Honourable members, there's a motion that Bill number 2025, that has indeed passed the 7-day requirement, but hasn't reached the 28-day requirement. We waive all standing orders in order for us to tackle this bill because of its relevant significance. Those of the bill say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, I now move a motion that Bill number 2025 be read second time. Those of the bill say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government business, bills, second reading, Bill number 20 of 2025, tourism industry.
Honourable Minister.
First Deputy Speaker, the bill before the House seeks to repeal the Tourism and Hotels Act of 1968. Already that gives us a basis that the current regulations and laws, legislations we are using are very old, just 4 years younger than the Republic of Malawi. So we are using very old rules, which in some cases they have become outdated, and there's a need for these laws to be replaced with comprehensive legal framework inclusive of this Tourism Bill 2025. In addition, all countries in the Southern and Eastern African region have created tourism authorities, which for us, we are still behind, and this bill seeks to do that. These countries have seen an increase in their competitiveness, and this bill addresses the issue of tourism leakages, which has greatly reduced the contribution of tourism in the country's economy. The bill aims to establish the Malawi Tourism Authority. It also sets up the Malawi College of Tourism to replace the existing Malawi Institute of Tourism. It provides a comprehensive licensing framework for tourism enterprise, tourism establishments, and tourism practitioners. It introduces offenses and their penalties to ensure compliance with the law. This bill creates Tourism Development and Marketing Fund under Section 60 for the promotion and development of tourism in Malawi. The fund will also support local small and medium enterprise for investment and market access. First Deputy Speaker, I therefore call upon the honourable members to support this tourism bill. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. I know you are standing in for your sister, the Minister of Tourism. I now do recognize spokespersons from the main opposition parties, beginning with DPP. DPP. I see Zomba Sanjara. 10 minutes, sir.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, thank you for according the people of Zomba Sanjara to respond to this bill on behalf of DPP. First of all, I would like to register my appreciation for the leadership of the party for allowing me to represent the party. More especially, our president, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, who behind him has a proven leadership in Malawi. We hope Malawians will begin to compare and see the direction that they want to take. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I also want to appreciate the leadership in this House from the DPP side. There are so many competent MPs in here, but it pleased the leadership in this House to also allow me to represent the party. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Bill, as submitted by government, seeks to provide a legal framework for the development of a sustainable tourism sector in Malawi. The bill has two main components that will help government achieve this. The bill seeks to establish two bodies. The Malawi Tourism Authority, whose core function will be to regulate and promote tourism within the sector, and also to establish the Malawi College of Tourism. From the onset, the DPP party would like to agree with the direction that government has taken, that this is a commendable direction. We need indeed this instrument. The two entities being proposed to be championing this, that's the Malawi Tourism Authority and the Malawi College of Tourism. As DPP, we believe that they will be given space to perform their functions. The Tourism Authority, as I have already indicated, will be a regulator and at the same time a promoter of tourism in Malawi. When you go through the bill, you look at the activities, the functions that have been apportioned to this authority, you definitely appreciate that as Malawi, we are set to improve this sector. We believe that the authority will help Malawi to bring sanity in this industry and at the same time suppress or iron out malpractices that in some countries tourism is seen to attract people of evil, because they know that in that particular country there are practices that are being done and they want to go there and participate in those. In Malawi, the way it has been outlined, we believe that we are set to take a good course in Malawi, promoting the industry, promoting the sector for a good cause, that at the end of the day, as Malawians, we will celebrate and benefit. The Malawi College of Tourism, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, is the way to go. Because straight away is an appreciation of capacity building, that as a nation, we need to be developing the capacity. This is a specialized area. So if we just pick people from different universities or colleges that are offering general programs, we may not meet the requirements, the demands that are needed in this. So we would like, as DPP, to encourage government to move on in that direction because it's for a good cause. But we would like to underline this, that when you go through this bill, it has very good intentions. But we have in Malawi colleges, schools, universities that are struggling. They are struggling because they can't meet the teaching and learning resources. And therefore, we just hope that in this regard, because it's a new venture, the government will make all efforts to make sure that the provisions for this college are made good so that the college takes root as we want it to be. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I would like the Minister to take note of these concerns that DPP would like to submit. When you read this bill, it has lots of typos and errors. Grammatical errors, genuine typos, an indication that to some extent it must have been rushed. The drafters might have done a good job, but as a document, it was not subjected to edit. The document needed to be edited. And the ministers should be taking their time to read documents. It's embarrassing to bring a document on the floor when it has so many typos. It only shows that it was not read. I want to invite government to take time and do a thorough job in a document before it is gazetted. I would like to take you to specific issues now, apart from that general observation, which I think the typos and the mistakes can be corrected. I want to take you to two specific issues. The first issue is drawn from subsection 6.1, which reads, the authority shall consist of 12 members, and it continues. I would like, through you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I would like the ministry to consider, for good practice, an odd number, not even number. For good practice. I think the drafters would understand what I'm saying and they would appreciate. So it might be, I can guide you to drop one so that you have 11. Drop a member who is being described as one person of good standing in the society. That is vague. It doesn't give good pointers to a person who is trying to identify individuals to be members of this authority by simply saying one person of good standing in the society. What does good standing mean? And which society? So maybe the best would be just to drop that so that it doesn't give us a headache. I'll move on to the next one, which is subsection 52, 2A2. I sometimes have problems with this learned field of councils. Their numbering sometimes can be confusing, but I just hope that you have picked it. They would use a 2 numeral and put another 2 numeral in brackets. Very interesting. But I hope they've picked it. 52, 2A2. Much better, in my view, if this read 4 members with knowledge or experience in matters relating to curriculum development and teaching, not curriculum development or teaching. So a combination of those 2 elements would be neater and stronger than the way it has been put. It's minor, but you might wish to consider it. Subsection 52.3 reads, the members of the council shall be appointed at different times so that the respective expiry dates of their terms of office shall fall at different times. DPP says no. Appoint all the members at a go and orient them and do team building so that they begin to work immediately. If you appoint a chair today and wait for 3 months to appoint 2 members and wait for another 3 months to appoint other members, what does that mean? When shall they start working? Appoint them at once. And I want to make a reference to a good work that has already been done within this bill. So I will refer you to subsection 6.4b, page 8, where this bill has beautifully explained how the members of the authority will be identified. And they are being identified at once. But after they have served for 3 years, you can leave out some and maintain some for institutional memory. So this subsection, is struggling to achieve that, but you don't achieve it by staggering the appointments. So the good practice is already within that bill. So I am just wondering why the drafters got lost somewhere to bring in this mess that should be corrected. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I would like to finish by submitting this from the DPP party, that this is a good bill, but more so, government should look at tourism not as elements that are sitting somewhere, a hill, a mountain, a lake, and other places. Let's look at our roads are part of tourism. Let's look at our bridges as part of our tourism. If people fail to drive on a countryside where they just wanted to appreciate the forest, then we are defeating the whole purpose of tourism. So I would like to invite the minister who is in charge of this ministry to collaborate with the other ministries, especially Minister of Transport, to really provide, to facilitate, to help this ministry to grow by providing good roads in the rural areas. We seem to be focusing so much on urban roads only in Malawi. It's a big sickness. We need to work on rural roads as well. I'm a member of parliament. I'm privileged to speak on behalf of DPP. If I were just standing on behalf of Zombari Sanja, you would have asked me to sit down straight away. It has happened more than twice. But allow me to continue because I'm representing the party, not Zombari Sanja. I wanted to finish by saying congratulations so much, Minister of Tourism, for the direction taken. And I want to believe that your colleagues in the cabinet will help you to achieve this ambitious route that government has taken. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, thank you so much. I was privileged because I was speaking for the party. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my learned brother. The people of Zombari Sanjara, speaking on behalf of the main opposition party, DPP, UDF, Moto, Manguji South.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. I'm standing in for the UDF. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I think my colleague from DPP has said all the details, but I'll just go into a few points because I'm also in the tourism industry. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, having a new authority which will be regulating all the tourism sector, as well as having a college. Although we have a college already, but I don't know what it's called, but we have this college in Blantyre, a training school. But if you're going to have now a better training school where maybe they'll be providing degrees or not just certificates of what was happening at the moment, then it's a better for all of us. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the taxman is so involved with the tourism sector. If you look at the levies, the taxes that you pay, and then in the end, when you declare very little profit, that is taken again as a tax. I'm sure my colleague from Manguchi Southwest will know more about this, and he's a professional. But you pay so much MPS, although VAT, if you do it properly, you get a refund. And other taxes, VAT, MPS, everywhere. Tourism, levy. And since I was preparing this bill right now, but please, hey, it's too much for the business. So can government consider? I know you want to collect revenue, but sometimes you're putting the business down, and sometimes corruption creeps in, where others are left scot-free. They don't pay, and yet they're operating. Or even the licenses, First Deputy Speaker, they're all raised up. The liquor license, the food license, all those licenses. Hey, for a new beginner, I think they can find it's not easy. So, Mr. Speaker, but at the same time, here we're having a regulator, but I hope we'll find a way of having all the licensing people together. Because you'll find the tourism people coming to inspect the place. 2 weeks later, the city council will come, or our district council. Then you'll find another board, tourism, liquor licensing people coming. Then you'll find health coming. Then you'll find MBS, Malawi Bureau of Standards. All these people, consumer. So, hey, can't you put everything under one roof? Because it looks like you're fighting the tourism sector. Yes, I know we all have to maintain standards, but it's become now a problem, because each body that comes in with their own. Or the kitchen is not okay, or the bar is not okay, and you work in circles. So this regulator, I hope it will take all the responsibilities under one roof. If that is done, then I've got no problem, and UDF has got no problem in this bill. My colleague talked about roads. It's no use having a very beautiful hotel, and then the road today is impassable. What are we doing? Like at the lake, yes, government has tarmacked roads to the big hotels, but think others as well. I'll talk about Mangochi. It has developed. I know Salima has also developed. But think about the other new establishments that are along the lake. Please, a tourist comes all the way, comes to Mangochi, let's go to the lake, and then he or she chooses a place which is not the big, I will not mention the big hotels, I think you all know them. And then halfway they can't get there because they're stuck in the mud. So can government please think about this? I know you're tarmacking, you're fixing all the roads all over, but think about the tourist destinations. Even at Bangochiboma, when this rain comes, the drainage, I don't know, maybe it's our own fault, but some of the places, they have not constructed drainage. So when the water comes, when the rain comes in Manguchi, it becomes flooded. Huh? When you want to go to I'm not talking about my own place, I'm talking about other places. You have to remove your shoes to walk because water is everywhere. Huh? So we could do it ourselves, but it's not possible. It's government who should be doing this. So, yes, UGF agrees with this bill. Now that you're creating a regulator who will be looking into all these things, as well as a proper college, because the other place was, I think it was just a training center. So it was not providing up to date, because things are changing daily. So you need the staff to have knowledge of how to work in a hotel, lodge, or whatever. With these few remarks, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, UDF fully supports the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, spokesperson for UDF, Commissioner Patel, people of Mangochi South. Honourable members, it's now open for general debate. We go to Mzimba North. Honourable member, I'm being told there's a report from the chairperson of the Kobido Trade, Honourable member for Kasungu Northeast.
Right Honourable First Deputy Speaker, I beg to present the papers standing on my name under item 3A7 of the order paper.
Thank you. Sergeant at Arms. Honourable member for Kasungu Northeast, the people of Simulemba, do you wish to speak to your report?
Yes, Right Honourable First Deputy Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed to the dispatch box.
Right Honourable First Deputy Speaker, it is my honour to present the report of the Industry, Trade and Tourism Committee on Bill number 20 of 2025 Tourism Industry. This bill presents a significant milestone in our efforts to modernize and transform Malawi's tourism sector, aligning it with our national tourism policy and the Malawi Vision 2063. Implications of the bill. First Deputy Speaker, I will proceed to outline what significant legal, budgetary, and socio-economic implications the bill carries. The legal implications. First Deputy Speaker, the Tourism Industry Bill seeks to repeal the outdated Tourism and Hotels Act of 1968 that has hindered our ability to develop a competitive tourism industry for the last 57 years. This new bill introduces a number of reforms with the establishment of Malawi Tourism Authority and the Malawi College of Tourism, two key institutions that will play a pivotal role in regulating and promoting tourism in Malawi. First Deputy Speaker, the bill also addresses the issue of multiplicity of licensing, simplifying the process of tourism enterprises and practitioners. It empowers the Minister of Tourism to designate tourism priority areas and zones, ensuring proper planning and development of tourism infrastructure. Furthermore, it outlines the roles of embassies in promoting
Honorable
tourism.
Member, there's a centrist. Remember where we are. Remember where we are.
Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker. Furthermore, the bill outlines the roles of embassies in promoting tourism and enhancing our international marketing efforts. On budgetary implications, First Deputy Speaker, the establishment of the Malawi Tourism Authority and the Malawi College of Tourism will require substantial investments. These include infrastructure development, advanced ITC systems, and staffing. Operational costs will include salaries, maintenance, promotional activities, and compliance enforcement. First Deputy Speaker, funding for these institutions will largely rely on various sources, including licensing fees, tourism levies, government grants, and international partnerships. The bill outlines innovative and sustainable financing strategies to ensure the financial autonomy and long-term viability of both institutions. Socio-economic implications, First Deputy Speaker, the bill promises significant socio-economic benefits for Malawi by boosting tourism's contribution to GDP, creating jobs, and attracting foreign investment. The bill aims to enhance our economic stability and socio-economic growth. The expansion of tourism-related businesses will generate employment opportunities, while increasing international tourism will bring in foreign currency. First Deputy Speaker, improved infrastructure such as roads, airports, and public services will benefit both tourists and the local communities where the tourism facilities are. Strengthening tourism policies will help preserve our cultural heritage and natural resources, promoting responsible and sustainable tourism practices. Observations from stakeholders. First Deputy Speaker, during our consultations, the committee made several key observations. First, proper planning. The bill needed to address planning issues, particularly in key tourism zones like in the lakeshore. Ministerial powers. Initially, the bill gave too much power to the Minister of Tourism, which has been adjusted. The Tourism College. The establishment of the Malawi College of Tourism is expected to bring much-needed professionalism to the sector. Embassy roles. The bill now clearly outlines the role of embassies in promoting tourism. Fines and penalties. The fines denominated in Malawi kwacha were found to be inadequate, and this has been revised. Funding. The bill facilitates securing adequate funding for international marketing campaigns and outlines the sources of funds for the authority as well as the college. Proposed amendments. First Deputy Speaker, in light of these observations, the committee has two recommendations for amendments to the bill. Notices of the proposed amendments were circulated in accordance with the relevant standing orders, and at the relevant time, we will read out those recommendations. In conclusion, First Deputy Speaker, the tourism industry bill is a bold step towards transforming Malawi's tourism landscape. It promises enhanced transparency, increased competitiveness, and sustainable economic growth. I urge all honourable members to support this bill and help us create a vibrant and thriving tourism industry that will benefit all Malawians. First Deputy Speaker, with these remarks, I beg to move that the report be considered and adopted by the entire House. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Member for Kasungu Northeast, who also happens to be the chairperson of the Permanent Committee on Trade and Industry. Honourable members, there's a motion that the report, as presented by the chairperson, be adopted by the whole. Be seconded. May any seconder? I see, is it Machinga Northeast? Oh, sorry, Michelle Northeast.
First Deputy Speaker, I rise to second the report on Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Industry, as ably presented by the Honourable Chairperson. This bill is a crucial piece of legislation that will pave the way for the modernization and growth of Malawi's tourism sector. First Deputy Speaker, with these few remarks, I second the report. I beg to move.
Nzimba North, general debate. 5 minutes. Okay. Nzimba North, I see leader standing.
Not to stop the whole debate, but to conclude the report, and then we go back to the bill so he can comment under the bill. This is one of the wonderful reports, and thank you, Seconda, for shortening our time. I therefore beg to move that debate on the report be curtailed in order to allow the chair of the committee to end up debate. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honourable Leader of the House. Honourable members, there's a motion that debate on the committee's report be curtailed in order that we do allow the chairperson to wind up, and then we go to the other general debate of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Chairperson, Kasungu Northeast.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And let me thank the Leader of the House for having seen it that even both the DPP and the UDF are actually happy with the bill. So there's no reason to waste time in discussing the report instead of going straight to discussing the bill. I beg to move that the report be discussed, First Deputy Speaker. The bill be discussed, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable members, there's a motion that the report presented by the chairperson of the Committee on Trade and Industry be adopted by the whole House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, we now go back to general debate on the bill. Mzimba North, you will recognize the first place. This is your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. Yes, good afternoon, and good afternoon to the Leader of Government. You are missing this morning. Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. Looking at this bill, First Deputy Speaker, there are three factors which should have been addressed: the role of government, the role of private sector, and indeed the role of the promoters. First Deputy Speaker, I'm worried with the role of government. I think they should have included both in the report and the bill what the role of the security services will do. Because Malawi is a good destination for tourism, but what are security agents doing? It's not enough, because if people come to Malawi and they are threatened by security in Mulanje, Mangochi, it doesn't work very well. Second thing, First Deputy Speaker, before we came into multi-party dispensation, this government, and indeed the government of DPP, is promoting secondary centers tourism port. The tourism, secondary centers tourism, Mankebe was already earmarked, Nkotagota, Salima, If we don't promote secondary centers, it is very difficult to envisage a bankrolling of tourism centers. I'm happy that the report has included issues to do with the tourism park. But secondary centers were self-financing by the German government. If we had promoted and continued with those secondary centers, Monkey Bay would have been developed. Even the road we were talking about yesterday would have been developed. Because a big role of government is infrastructure development. Second thing is, first, Deputy Speaker, it is so embarrassing when you reach an airport, there is no Wi-Fi. You have to go and buy a Wi-Fi or data when there should be free Wi-Fi. Again, the role of government is envisaged to promote such kind of things. Third, Deputy Speaker, the role of government in negotiating airlines. Malawi cannot be only a destination of Ethiopian Airlines. Malawi should be a destination of even Qatar, even other airline business, so that we promote both trade and tourism jointly. I am saying this, Deputy Speaker, the monopoly that Ethiopian Airlines is enjoying is as if we are a subordinate to Ethiopia. We are not. Malawi is a sovereign state, and we must make sure that we promote liberal airline business other than promoting just Ethiopian. I'm saying this because some people are exporting even Indian hemp. When we export, it is stuck in Ethiopia. Nobody is taking to a destination like Poland or America. So that kind of trade, which is linked to airline business, it's being suffocated. Having said that, First Deputy Speaker, let me also talk about designated natural tourism destination. Mulanje Mountain is a natural significant factor. Nyika National Park, Mangochi, Monkey Bay. But what is the government doing in these areas? It leaves a lot to be desired. Having said that, Deputy Speaker, I would envisage a good destination and a good package. We should also envisage what is the role of visas. Let's create destinations which could be visa-free and duty-free, like Ligoma, Monkey Bay, Mount Mulanje. If they can be visa-free and duty-free, people will be driving to these areas to promote tourism, and it will be driving them in a bigger way. Before I even conclude this debate, First Deputy Speaker, the minister should have given us data relating to tourism destination into Malawi and out of Malawi, and how much is the visa issue being affected. And if we can understand that, it will be much, much better. As I'm alluding to the role of government, what is happening to the passport issues in Malawi? Both the passport issues in Malawi, the relevance of the passport issue. I'm saying about this, First Deputy Speaker, when we are promoting tourism, Russia and China are the big populous destination, and they have good exchange programs with African countries. If we can promote exchange programs with Russia, with China, and we have proper packages, Malawi will be a proper tourism destination. One day when you talk to Russians and whatever, they tell us, they criticize, what is the role of your lake in your country in terms of tourism? We have a natural factor that is a tourism destination, an industry that is self-regulating. What are we doing to promote the lake? I am saying this, in the past, we used to have yachting marathon, which was starting from Mangochi all the way to Karonga. Where is the yachting marathon, which was a natural factor which was promoted on Lake Malawi? Such kind of things, they require government engagement. You cannot leave it to private sector. And that's why the manifesto of DPP under 40 is emphasizing on the role of government. Having said that, First Deputy Speaker, let me also look at the role of even the tourism board itself. I am happy you are talking about the tourism college, but the days are gone. In all countries, they have stopped about talking about colleges or training schools. They are talking about technical schools. But if you are talking about technical college, you are already lowering the standard of development in terms of human capital. Go straight to tourism university. After all, Muzuzu University has already started the hospitality industry. But to come here and debating a college, a college, oh, no. We should actually be talking, we cannot be talking about diplomas. Let us talk about degrees that are going to enhance the human capital development in the tourism industry. Deputy Speaker, having said that, and I've talked about that, and I want to look at the final stage of the private sector. First, Deputy Speaker, there was the role of African development. I'm concluding.
A member is given 5 minutes. Consider winding up.
There was the role of African Development Bank. First, Deputy Speaker, the African Development Bank gave us a lot of packages and grants under the DPP government. The grants that were given to Malawi have not been properly utilized. and have not benefited the private sector per se, because we delayed in processing the grants to the beneficial private sectors. If the government can play a critical role in facilitating these grants which were given to the tourism sector, that would be quite encouraging. Very finally, I have seen the penalties of 3 million, 4 million, and so forth. Tourism is an expensive venture. It's not a cheap venture. To make sure that you satisfy all the standards of the tourism, it's not easy, and it's not as envisaged. And it's not a high return avenue, but it promotes a lot of movement where you collect a lot of forex. Having said that, I think you cannot have a cost center that is relying on penalties. Penalties will not be enough. Actually, we should even remove the penalties, but put regulation standards which should be very stiff. With these few remarks, First Deputy Speaker, as a government in waiting of DPP and afford, we are very seriously considering this bill, how it is going to support and promote Malawi. The knowledge of APM and Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika in this governance and direction, which is going to be provided by our government, I am sure in September, we are envisaging to welcome this bill. With these few remarks, and as an implementing agency of the DPP and afford government, we welcome this bill as we are going to do it in September 2020, after 2025. With these few remarks, I submit, Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Next time you are speaking just as Mzimba North, these are our views. You have spoken well. The last bit is where you have made a mistake. Was the spokesperson of DPP already spoke? You were speaking as Mzimba North, not as the whatever names you have mentioned. Lucky enough, the chair did hear. Thank you. Mangochi Southwest.
Thank you very much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for recognizing Mangochi Southwest, who happens to be the spokesperson of the Democratic Progressive Party, and also the spokesperson of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Indeed, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, on 16 September 2025, is coming back to save Malawians. Having said that, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, we would want to make a contribution to the debate which is on the floor on this bill. First of all, this is a very progressive bill and needs to be supported by any progressive person. And as Mangochi Southwest, we want to join our spokesperson on this bill, as well as the spokesperson of United Democratic Progressive Party, and also Nzimba North. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, number one point, this bill is providing licensing mechanisms. I think gone will be the days when everyone would think that they would be operating or serve as tourist practitioners, even without proper qualification. In this bill, there is a provision that at least at a minimum, you must have a diploma, and also you must have a qualification that is recognized by TEVETA as well as the National Council for Higher Education. That is very progressive. However, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, while the bill also provides for licensing of tourist enterprises, there isn't much that has been said about the processes or the requirements for one to be registered as a tourist enterprise. Would have wanted that this bill was explicit to the extent that there must be a requirement that particularly the communities around where these establishments are operating, there must be something that they will also be benefiting from this. Oftentimes we see that our big companies establish tourist enterprises, but the communities around there, they're not benefiting. You see that they're even buying tomato from elsewhere. The community around that place don't have any benefit whatsoever. Would have loved to see a bill progressive in this manner, where communities around where the establishments are established are also participating in the benefits arising from these establishments. And there is a number of cases. You go along the lake, we have so many establishments, but ask if the communities around those premises are benefiting. It's a sorry sight. Even you see the houses that are there, in the conditions that people are living around those premises, it's very, very, very sad. So would have wanted to see in the licensing a mechanism where you would also encourage people to incorporate the communities around those enterprises. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the second point is on Section 60, where we are setting up a tourist development fund, which is also a progressive thing, and we support that. However, what we have noted is that there is no mention about how these funds, which are going to accumulate to this fund, will be appropriated and will be spent. Our memories are fresh, particularly in the 2 years we had the Cyclone Fred, and it devastated even the tourist, Cyclone Fred as well as the COVID. The tourist sector was affected severely to the extent that traffic was not there, employees, people, because the tourism sector actually employs our youth, and it's a big employer. But it was affected to the extent that people were actually losing their jobs. Would have wanted that in the fund there should be a provision for disaster management, for a crisis management in the manner that it happened some 2-3 years ago, even 4 years ago when we had the COVID. Lastly, 2 points. Also, we needed to have some provision to accommodate people with disability. I hope that when you are doing the regulations, the minister, you also consider that establishments, before you license them, must make sure that they are responsive to people living with disabilities. It is an international best practice that we should have structures that are responsive to people with disabilities. Finally, tips, Section 72. In the bill, there is an offense where a person solicits a bill from a customer. But where we have traveled, and all of us have traveled elsewhere, go to South Africa, you see there that it is part of their tradition, most of them, that when you are saved, you give a tip. I just don't know why in this country that we don't encourage the practice of facilitation of tips, particularly in the tourism industry. That would be, if you're looking for more jobs to create, that would be a way of creating more jobs. With these few remarks, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, thank you very much for giving Malawi Southwest an opportunity to contribute to this bill. I'm very passionate about tourism, and I speak with that passion. Thank you very much, Mr. First Deputy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member for Mangochi Southwest. I see Leader of the House. Leader.
Right Honourable, there is a provision in our standing orders that require you to express conflict of interest. And the way how Mangochi South has debated today in a sober manner tells you how conflicted he is on the issues of tourism. And he's very conflicted because he is one of the providers of tourism services in the country. But the leader will not comment because I'm also conflicted. But just wanted to say something, because my colleagues, when they stand, just on a lighter note, when they stand, they keep on to say APM is coming back, APM is coming back, but they're not saying it's coming back where? Did he travel? And where is he going? Where is he coming back? Maybe he's going back to Blantyre, he's going back, but not in government. God forbid, APM is not coming back to government. That one cannot happen. That's on a lighter note, because you said he's coming back. I'm just expressing he's not coming back. The second thing is a lighter note, Right Honorable Speaker, First Deputy Speaker, our dear brother, unfortunately has moved out. I was whispering to my colleagues in the front bench here. And Raf Juma, my dear brother from Monkey Bay, then he was with PP. That brother of ours in Zimba North stood up here and said, don't worry about monies for campaign. I know where Bingu's worth is. I'll go and get it and we'll campaign everywhere. That man, be careful with him. He will tell you so many things. Don't believe him so much. He told us that Bingu has a lot of money. 61 billion. And he said 61 billion US dollars. And I was quiet. I went to ask my uncle Kamlebu. I said, is this serious? Kamlebu says, Nanesonda Vera Pompa. He said it is.
Honorable leader, which time are you quoting?
On a lighter note, that brother told us there is a lot of money for campaign. You come back, don't worry. I know where it is. Up to now, he has not mentioned. People were told that the Bingu took a lot of money outside the country. It was a lie. It's just big things that they don't exist. So if you are busy listening from him, believe you me, next time you'll be sitting there at the corner and asking him questions, say, where is that money? Where is it? So when he says afford and DPP will form government, you then ask, which afford? It was on a lighter note. But anyway, I've spoken very positive about Bingu. So I don't expect anyone to speak bad thing about him. By the way, 3 days ago, we remembered that we lost him. He was one of our good leaders. So we can celebrate his life. And we can always talk about him. I admire him. I don't admire others. And I don't want to mention names. I don't want to admire others. But him tried his best. After him, the problem is he told people to dream in color, and the people have been dreaming in color, they never implemented things in color. But on tourism, my dear minister is here sitting on behalf of our sister. One of the things that have been said by Mangoch South in terms of levies, licenses, fees, those ones must indeed be looked at. And I'm happy that the whole tourism ministry officials, the technical team, that they were at the back there listening. Because you have councils, my ministry, Equal Services, you have Kosoma, you have, even if it's a hotel, they'll give 3, 4, 5 licenses. One for liquor, one for food, one for accommodation, and then Kosoma comes in, and then tourism levy, and then you have the TVETA levy. So the service provider is given all these levies to pay. And sometimes it affects and chokes the prices. That's why, in some cases, actually I have to thank them. They have started helping us. Even other tourist places are very expensive in Malawi than other places in South Africa and other places. So, but I'm grateful that the Honorable Minister and the team are doing a good job, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, to make sure that when we say Tijambandi for Malawi, the places around Malawi should be affordable. When you want to go to the lake, it must be affordable. When you want to go to Cape Maclear, it must be affordable. This must be something that we must gain. Because Malawians want to go out on Easter and other holidays, but the prices becomes a bit higher. Grateful for the efforts being made by the ministry to make sure there is harmony, to make sure prices are lower. Therefore, this bill is very, very important that we support it. And Lower East, in particular, would like to support this bill. And indeed, I agree with honorable members. If there is a bill to support, it is this bill. And with these few remarks, I therefore beg to move that debate on the bill be concluded in order to allow the honorable minister sitting in for the Minister of Tourism wind up debate. I beg, who? Honorable, You can cry for spilled milk, you will never get it. I beg to move that. He winds up. I beg to move.
Honourable members, we have a motion ahead of us that debate on the bill be curtailed to allow Honourable Minister of Natural Resources, sitting in for Minister of Tourism, to wind up. Those of the bill say aye. Those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable Minister, Tourism, winding up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. The comments and the deliberations were very exciting. In totality, all the speakers have agreed that this is a very progressive bill. And the representative from DPP, Elder from Zomba Lisanjala, agreed with this bill. At the same time, the issues he has raised, they are taken note of. The typos and so on will be able to do the editing at an appropriate time. And one confidence I want to give to him is that the intentions of this bill are very great. And as government, we are very much committed because tourism is part of the ATM strategy. And if you go to the 2063 vision for Malawi, you observe that tourism is under Pillar 3, urbanization, where the intention is to make sure that all tourism hubs are properly enhanced. So he should take courage in that. UDF submitted the same, and there was an issue about taxation and the rest. This one is taken note of. It is very true, and surely in the spirit of this bill, we are very much sure that the authority, one of its roles that are supposed to do in the first quarter of their being set is to ensure that there's at least an engagement of all the stakeholders not to disturb the levy system, to make it very strong. Why we are saying this is because it is true. In most of the places you go, you find even Coca-Cola, which you can get in a shop at 300 kwacha, but in these tourism places, they are 1,000, 2,000. The reason being they have put the levies and they are passing them to the consumer. So we are very much knowledgeable of that, and surely we will go for that and adjust. Mangoji Southwest said something which I quote. This is a very progressive bill that must be supported by every progressive person, end of quote. So he's very right. The other comments he has made, very welcome, and we have taken note of that. And the Ministry of, the Committee on Trade and Industry has also raised some amendments which are coming forward regarding some of the issues that have been raised. So for Zimba North, the submission is also understood. One thing I want to say is that considering that tourism is one of our greatest areas which we feel will spark growth for this republic as we are moving towards 2063, you will note that enabler number 6 is economic infrastructure. And this takes into account issues of transportation, issues of that have been mentioned. In this case, we're talking about even energy, because tourism is also affected by energy. You go to a restaurant, they'll tell you magesa zima, they can't cook and so on. It takes time to have quality food. Those things we have taken note of, and we know that this bill will also partly enhance the collaboration we do with other sectors and MDAs. So all the concerns that have been raised should be, the people who have raised this should be at peace, because even when it comes to transport, the transportation master plan, you observe that it prioritized all the tourist destinations, those places we deem touristic in nature for Malawi. The master plan prioritized that. And the ministry, when this is done, will be able to make sure that it collaborates with all the stakeholders. So, Honorable Speaker, I submit before you, sir. I beg to move
that bill number 2025 be read a second time.
I beg to move that bill number 20, tourism bill, be read. Bill number 20.
Bill number 20 of 2025
I beg to move that Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Bill, read for the second time. I beg to move. That's correct, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Natural Resources, our own brother from Chikwawa North, who is standing in for your dear sister, the Minister of Tourism, Dr. Veragan Tukure. Honorables, there's a motion that Bill number 20 of 25 be read a second time. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the good opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government business, bills, committee stage, Bill number 20 of 2025, tourism industry.
Before we go into the committee stage, there's a point of order from Chikwawa South. Point of order? I mean, Chilatu South. Sorry, Chilatu South.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for giving the floor to Chilatu South. I just wanted to seek your guidance in terms of how we can proceed, because there were very important issues that were raised by DPP. For example, the issue of the composition of the board, the numbers in the board, so that at any point in time there shouldn't be, let's say, a tie. That's what normally happens in most of the boards. Can I just finish? Then you will respond. Can I answer? Can I do the question? Yeah, and also there were very pertinent issues that were also raised by Mangochi South. For example, the issue of criminalizing issue of tips, because I think we have all traveled, both in developed countries, all those issues are there. So I wanted to find out, because I'm also aware of the standing orders, where you say you need to give notice. You are supposed to give notice. Yeah, you are supposed to give notice for the amendments to be included in the when you are doing the committee of supplies. So I wanted to find out in this regard, because I'm aware of one of the issues is not included in the amendments, and I'm sure you agree with me that those are very pertinent. How would you want that to be handled? Because the minister has actually noted them. He said he's aware, he's agreed some of the issues, but how would we bring them to the bill? Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member for Chilatu South, for the very important point of order. However, I'll recognize the Minister. However, you know, we don't make amendments orally. We need to use our own standing orders. So the good thing is, a law is a living document, something that we can make an amendment as we go along. You know, I want to urge members of these committees from your party, if you feel like you need to make an amendment before we go into committee of stage, before we tackle the bill on the floor, such points must be handled a day before. The chair here always gives space for amendments, but we can't do them just now. We'll break our own standing orders. So, number one, I agree entirely. Very, very pertinent points that you've raised. Number two, a law or an act is a living document which can be, amended as we go along. That's because Parliament is there for such issues. Number three, members of parties, whether opposition or ruling party, if you feel like the bill needs to be amended, don't bring that point on the floor. Bring on the floor and amend it. An amendment. We sign here, we're going to do it. We don't amend orally. Thank you. I sustain the point of order, but the timing is wrong. Committee stage, we stand as I invite Shehu Sento. But I see the minister standing. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to just address the point that the forthcoming, the issue that were raised was on section 6.1, where we have an amendment that is forthcoming, set by the committee. The other section 52.1, it's about curriculum and so on, but they did not submit that. But I think by them not submitting, it is deemed that it's something that we can deal with as time goes. And also the other one was about appointment, that it should not be staggering and the rest. But most of the issues have been dealt with. Issues about tips, why I accepted that this one is pertinent. One is it will be dealt with in the regulations. So we'll handle it in the regulations. The spirit behind this law is that tips should not be something that you exhort. It should not be that element as I know we have traveled, but we have traveled to some places where we have been when the person is asking for a tip, we feel like he's troubling us. Now we are the home heart of Africa. The spirit is a tip should be given on the frolic of the giver, not to be in a way that
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Remember, we have 4 bills today. I know you like talking, and you talk sense all the time. But the time. And members, we go to the committee stage. I do invite the people of Nsheu Center. Is Nsheu Center around? Nsheu Center, perfect. We stand as I go. Thank you.
Honourable members, order please to my right. Order to my right, honourable members. Order to my right. Order to my right. Order please. Welcome to committee stage of Bill number 20 of 2025 Tourism Industry. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clause 1 to 5 have no amendments. I now put the question that clauses 1 to 5 stand part of the bill. Those of that opinion say aye, and those of the court of opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that the chair has received 2 proposed amendments to this bill. I now recognize the chairperson of the Industry, Trade and Tourism to move the proposed amendments on clause 6. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 6 be amended by deleting subclause 1 and substituting therefore a new clause as follows. 1. The authority shall consist of 11 members who shall be citizens of Malawi, comprising A, 7 members appointed by the Minister. A1, 1 person with qualification and experience in hospitality services. 2, 1 person with qualification and experience in tourism or business management related field other than hospitality services. 3, 1 person with qualification and experience in public health. 4, 1 person with experience in tourism training. 5, 1 person who is a legal practitioner with valid practicing license in accordance with Legal Education and Legal Practitioners Act. 6, a marketing expert. And 7, an accountant registered under the Public Accountants and Auditors Act. And B, the following ex-official members or their representatives. 1, the Secretary responsible for tourism. 2, the Secretary to the Treasury. 3, the Secretary responsible for industry. And 4, the Secretary responsible for local government. I beg to move.
Thank you, Chair. If no one wishes to speak, I now put a question. And the question is that Clause 6, as moved by the chairperson, be amended by the House. Those without opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. I now put the second question, and the question is that the clause as amended by the House stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the other opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clause 7 to 19 have no amendments. And I now put the question that clauses 7 to 19 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, I now recognize the chairperson of the Industry and Trade and Tourism Committee to move the proposed amendment on clause 20. Chairperson.
We propose that clause 20 be amended in sub-clause 1 by deleting the word or immediately after the word reappointment and substituting therefore the word for. I beg to move.
Thank you, Chairperson. If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question, and the question is that clause 20, as moved by the chairperson of the committee, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. I now put the second question, and the question is that the clause as amended by the House stands part of the bill. Those of that opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clause 21 to 91 have no amendments. I now put the question that clauses 21 to 91 stand part of the bill. Those of that opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that this bill has two schedules. I now put the question that schedules 1 and 2 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, this marks the end of committee stage of Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Industry. Thank you for your active participation.
Honorable members, I'm seeing undertones. There's a word area. What is an area? I'm here, area. What is this animal called area? My area is so good. I'm so good my area.
Government business, bills, report stage, Bill number 20 of 2025, tourism industry.
Honorable Minister reporting.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I beg to report that Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Bill, passed through committee stage with amendments. And I beg to move that the third reading be taken today. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, there's a motion that the third reading of Bill 2025 be taken today. Those that say aye, those of the government say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Government business, bills, third reading, Bill number 20 of 2025, tourism industry.
Honorable Minister. Minister.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Bill, be... I beg to move that Bill number 20 of 2025, Tourism Bill, be read for a third time and passed. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honourable members, there's a motion that Bill number 25, Tourism Industry, be read a third time and passed. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. That the bill has passed. Honorable Government Deputy Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Now we go to Bill number 17 of 2025, mental health.
Honourable members, we take a healthy break. When we come back, we'll tackle Bill number 17 of 2025, mental health. I see point of order from Doha West. Doha West. Doha West. I still.
No, Honorable First Deputy Speaker, you were raising an issue about the word area. I just wanted to remind you that area anakoza umapita kumudzi. Thank you very much.
I want, honor members, I want to assure all independent members of parliament who came on an independent ticket, this time around, you are very safe. You are coming on your party tickets, including me here. So don't worry about issues of areas. So all the 55 MPs who came as independents in 2019, we are coming back, but on our party tickets. There's a Minister of Defense, she's independent. Minister of Foreign Affairs, independent. Minister of Education is independent. Here, the chair is independent. You know, Chiradzuru West is independent. Chiradzuru East is independent. Palombe East, Mwina is independent. Tegerano is independent. You know, we were 55 and we were very strong. But now we are stronger because we're coming on our party tickets. So the issue of area, we are very safe. Thank you. We now take a healthy break. We suspend and come back at exactly 2 minutes past 4. House suspended. As we take a break, somebody has lost the car keys, but the keys are safe. They are with the sergeant at arms. So if you are missing your keys, check the sergeant at arms, you get your keys. Thank you.